And today we're going to talk about something very powerful, something very small, but something that can completely change the way you learn English and help you become more fluent without stress or confusion.
Hi, everyone. I'm really excited about today's topic because, honestly, many English learners think they need hours and hours of study every day. But what if I told you that just 10 minutes a day could actually make a big difference in your fluency?
And this is something that surprises a lot of people because most learners believe that more time always means better results. But in reality, it's not about how long you study. It's about how smart and consistent your learning habit is.
That's so true, and I think many learners feel frustrated because they study grammar, they memorize words, they watch videos, but after weeks or even months, they still don't feel confident when they try to speak or understand English in real life.
And if you're listening right now and thinking, yes, that's exactly me, then don't worry, because today we're going to share a very simple habit that you can start today. Something easy, something practical, and something that really works.
So here's the big question for you. What if just 10 minutes of reading every day could help you understand English faster, remember more words, and even speak more confidently?
It may sound too simple to be true, but trust us, by the end of this episode, you'll understand why this small habit is so powerful and how you can use it to finally start seeing real progress in your English.
So stay with us, because this might be the easiest and most effective English learning habit you've ever tried.
So before we talk about the solution, let's first understand the real problem, because many English learners are working hard. They are spending time every day studying, but somehow they still feel stuck, like they are not improving. And this can be very frustrating and even a little discouraging.
Yes, and I think a lot of learners experience this feeling where they learn new words today, but tomorrow they forget them, or they understand a sentence when they read it slowly, but when they hear it in real life, they feel completely lost and confused.
Exactly. And another very common problem is that learners are afraid to speak, even if they know some English, because they are not confident. They are worried about making mistakes, and they don't feel ready to express their thoughts clearly.
And the truth is, this doesn't happen because learners are not smart or not trying hard enough. It usually happens because they are using the wrong method, or they are focusing too much on things that don't actually help them improve naturally.
Because many learners spend most of their time studying grammar rules, memorizing long lists of vocabulary, or translating everything into their native language. And while these things are not completely wrong, they are not enough to build real fluency.
Yes, because real fluency is not just about knowing rules or remembering words. It's about being able to understand and think in English naturally without stopping all the time to translate or to remember a rule.
And here's the biggest mistake that many learners make. They don't get enough real exposure to English, which means they are not spending enough time seeing and experiencing English in a natural way, like in sentences, stories, and real communication.
That's right. And without this kind of exposure, your brain doesn't learn how English really works. So even if you study a lot, it becomes very difficult to use the language in real situations.
So if you feel like you are studying but not improving, it's probably not your fault. It's just that your learning method needs a small but powerful change.
And that change is exactly what we're going to talk about next.
Now let's talk about something that is often simple but very powerful, and that is reading, because many learners don't realize that reading is one of the most effective ways to improve your English naturally. without feeling like you are studying too hard or forcing yourself to memorize things.
Yes, and what makes reading so special is that it helps you learn English in a very natural way, because instead of learning single words or grammar rules separately, you see everything together inside real sentences, and this helps your brain understand how English actually works.
Exactly. And when you read regularly, you start to notice patterns. You begin to recognize how sentences are formed, how words are used, and slowly, without even trying too hard, you start thinking in English instead of translating from your own language.
And another great benefit is vocabulary, because when you read, you don't just learn new words, you also learn how those words are used in different situations, which makes it much easier to remember them and use them correctly when you speak.
That's such an important point, because memorizing a word from a list is very different from seeing that word inside a meaningful sentence. And when you see it in context again and again, it becomes part of your natural vocabulary.
Also, reading improves your understanding because the more you read, the more your brain gets used to English. So when you listen or have a conversation, you can understand faster and with less effort.
And the best part is that reading is something you can do anywhere and anytime. You don't need a teacher, you don't need a special environment, you just need a few minutes and the right kind of material.
So even though reading sounds simple, it is actually one of the strongest tools you can use to build your English step by step in a natural, relaxed, and effective way.
And now that you understand why reading is so powerful, let's talk about a very simple habit that can help you use this power every single day. Now that we understand how powerful reading can be, let's talk about a very simple idea that can completely change the way you learn English. And that is the 10-minute reading habit, which means you only need to spend just 10 minutes every day reading something in English. Not 1 hour, not 2 hours, just 10 focused and consistent minutes.
And I know some people might think, only 10 minutes? That's not enough. But actually, this is where the magic happens, because when something is easy and doesn't feel heavy or stressful, you are much more likely to do it every single day without skipping.
Exactly. And consistency is much more important than intensity, because studying for 2 hours one day and then stopping for a week will not help you as much as reading for just 10 minutes every day without fail.
Yes. And this habit is powerful because it fits into your daily life so easily. You can do it in the morning, before sleeping, during a break, or even while waiting somewhere. And because it's short, your brain stays focused and active the whole time.
Another important thing is that this habit removes pressure, because many learners feel tired or overwhelmed when they think they have to study for a long time. But 10 minutes feels simple, relaxed, and possible for everyone.
And when you do something small every day, your brain starts to build a routine. And over time, this routine becomes a natural part of your life, just like brushing your teeth or checking your phone.
So even though 10 minutes may sound small, when you repeat it every day, it becomes something very powerful. Because small daily actions create big long-term results.
And the best part is, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to understand every word. You just need to show up every day and keep going step by step.
So now that you understand this simple but powerful habit, let's break it down and show you exactly how to practice it in the right way. All right, now let's make this very practical, because knowing the idea is good, but knowing exactly how to do it step by step is what will really help you start and stay consistent with your 10-minute reading habit.
Yes, and don't worry, these steps are very simple and beginner-friendly, so anyone can follow them without feeling confused or overwhelmed.
Step 1. Choose easy and interesting content. Because if the text is too difficult, you will feel frustrated. And if it is boring, you will lose motivation. So it's very important to pick something that is both easy to understand and interesting for you, like short stories, simple dialogues, or basic articles.
Exactly. And remember, you don't need to read difficult books to improve. In fact, easy content helps you learn faster because you can understand more and enjoy the process at the same time.
Step 2. Read slowly and focus on understanding, which means you should not rush through the text just to finish it. Instead, take your time, read each sentence carefully, and try to understand the general meaning, even if you don't understand every single word.
Yes, because reading is not a race, and it's completely okay if you pause, think, or even read the same sentence again, because that's how your brain starts to process the language naturally.
Step 3. Learn only 3 to 5 new words. And this is very important, because many learners try to learn too many words at once, and then they forget most of them. So instead, just choose a few useful words, understand their meaning, and try to remember them.
That's right, because learning a small number of words deeply is much better than learning many words quickly and forgetting them later.
Step 4. Read again for reinforcement, which means after you finish reading once, go back and read the same text again. And this time, you will understand more. You will feel more confident, and the words will start to feel familiar.
And this repetition is very powerful because every time you read again, your brain becomes stronger in recognizing patterns and understanding English more easily.
Step 5. Speak what you read. And this is where many learners make a big difference, because when you read out loud or repeat sentences, you are not only improving your reading, but also your speaking and pronunciation.
Yes, and even if you feel shy or not confident, try to speak anyway, because the more you practice speaking, the more natural it will feel over time.
So as you can see, this habit is not complicated at all. It's just about choosing the right content, reading with focus, learning a few words, repeating the text, and speaking it out loud.
And if you follow these simple steps every day for just 10 minutes, you will slowly start to see real improvement in your English, and most importantly, you will feel more confident and comfortable using the language.
Now let's look at a real-life example to see how this works in practice. All right, let's look at a simple real-life example so you can clearly see how this 10-minute reading habit works in practice, and how even a short and easy text can help you improve your English step by step.
Yes, and remember, the goal is not to understand everything perfectly, but to practice and improve little by little.
Okay, here's a short sentence. Allie goes to the market every morning to buy fresh fruit.
Great, that's a simple and clear sentence, and now let's follow the steps we talked about.
First, you read the sentence slowly and try to understand the general meaning. And even if you don't know every word, you can guess that Allie is going somewhere regularly to buy something.
Then you can focus on a few new or important words, for example, market, fresh, and fruit, and try to understand what they mean and how they are used in the sentence.
After that, you read the sentence again, maybe 2 or 3 times, and now it feels easier, more natural, and you start recognizing the structure without thinking too much.
And finally, you try to say the sentence out loud. Ali goes to the market every morning to buy fresh fruit, and this helps you improve your pronunciation and confidence at the same time.
So you see, even with one simple sentence, you are reading, learning vocabulary, understanding structure, and practicing speaking, all in just a few minutes.
And imagine if you do this every day, even for just 10 minutes, how much your English can improve over time.
Exactly. And that's the power of this simple habit. Now, before you start this habit, it's very important to understand some common mistakes that many learners make, because avoiding these mistakes can save you a lot of time and help you improve much faster.
Yes, and one of the biggest mistakes is choosing material that is too difficult, because when the text is full of unknown words, you will feel confused, tired, and unmotivated very quickly.
Another common mistake is trying to understand and memorize every single word, which is not necessary because the goal is to understand the general meaning and learn naturally, not to be perfect.
Also, many learners are not consistent. They practice for a few days and then stop, and this breaks the habit. So even if you only have a little time, it's better to practice every day than to study a lot once in a while.
And finally, some learners don't repeat what they read. They just read once and move on. But without repetition, your brain doesn't have enough time to really learn and remember the language.
So remember, keep it simple, stay consistent, choose easy content, and don't try to do too much at once.
Avoid these mistakes, and your 10-minute reading habit will become much more effective. Now let's talk about something very important, and that is your mindset, because no matter how good your method is, if you don't have the right mindset, it becomes very easy to give up or lose motivation after a few days.
Yes, and the first thing you need to understand is that learning English is a journey, not something that happens in one day or 1 week, so you have to be patient with yourself and trust the process.
Exactly. And instead of focusing on big results, try to focus on small daily progress. Because even if you improve just a little every day, those small improvements will become something big over time.
And don't be afraid of mistakes, because mistakes are a natural part of learning, and every time you make a mistake, you are actually getting closer to speaking English more confidently.
Also, remind yourself why you started learning English, whether it's for your career, your studies, or communication, and let that reason keep you motivated every day.
And most importantly, be consistent. Even on days when you don't feel motivated, just do your 10 minutes because discipline is more powerful than motivation.
Stay patient, stay consistent, and believe in your progress.
You're improving more than you think.
So let's quickly bring everything together, because what we shared today is actually very simple but also very powerful. And that is the idea that you don't need hours of study to improve your English. You just need a smart and consistent habit that you can follow every single day.
Yes, and that habit is the 10-minute reading routine, where you choose easy and interesting content, read slowly to understand the meaning, learn just a few new words, repeat what you read, and practice speaking it out loud.
And when you follow this process every day, even for a short time, your vocabulary will grow, your understanding will improve, and you will start to feel more confident using English naturally.
Also, remember to avoid common mistakes like choosing difficult texts, trying to learn too many words at once, or being inconsistent, because keeping things simple is the key to long-term success.
And most importantly, trust the process, because real progress doesn't happen overnight. But with small daily effort, you will definitely see results.
So don't wait for the perfect time. Just start today, even if it's only for 10 minutes.
Because those 10 minutes can truly change your English journey.
Step by step, day by day, you will get there.
All right, everyone. Now it's your turn. Because learning English is not just about listening to advice, it's about taking action. And everything we shared today will only work if you actually start applying it in your daily life.
Yes, so we want you to try this 10-minute reading habit starting today, even if it feels small, because small actions done consistently always lead to big results over time.
And here's a simple challenge for you. After watching this episode, take just 10 minutes. Find something easy in English, read it slowly, and try to follow the steps we discussed.
And if you do it, come back and tell us in the comments, because sharing your progress will keep you motivated and also inspire other learners who are on the same journey.
Also, if you found this episode helpful, make sure to like this video and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss more simple and powerful English lessons like this.
And remember, you don't need perfect English to start, you just need the courage to begin.
Start small, stay consistent, and your English will grow step by step.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep learning and keep improving.